I'm not gonna lie. I mean, people made fun of it and everything and stuff like that. But seeing Abby like hung up like that after all that she went through, also because Ellie didn't. Ellie's not the only one that went through shit in this game. Seeing Abby go through all that shit too, and the way she looked like she was exhausted, she was just done with everything. It made me feel for Abby right there. It did. It made me feel for Abby right there. It made me feel like, yo, you can't kill her after that. Now, like if she would have found Abby chilling on the beach, enjoying life, nonchalant, drinking beer, throwing it down, then the hurt wouldn't have been there. Like it would, the animosity would have been like, yo, I need to kill this bitch, whatever. You know what I mean? But to find her like that, you know what I mean? And the little boy that she went all out to rescue for no reason whatsoever. What dude or gal wasn't family, no nothing. She went all out, saved them, whatever, and find both of them hung up on a freaking, like, I mean, Jesus type status. You know what I mean? Except with the nail in the cross or whatever, but they were hung up to die. You can't kill her, man. Not after that. You can't kill her after that. You know what I mean? It was just, I don't know. You can't kill her. I don't know what Ellie's gonna say to Tommy. Hopefully Ellie lies to him, because the way Tommy was when he spoke to Ellie and said that's bullshit, whatever. Tommy was basically gonna go after her himself. That's why he put on the book bag. He was like, yo, I can't go. You know what? I'm going. You don't want to go? I'm going. But I don't know. I do understand also. I do understand also the hurt people feel with Joe. You know what I mean? I understand the hurt people feel with Joe. I understand the anger. I understand but the way The Last of Us is going, no matter what, and if you read stories and you look at movies, even if you look at movies, the way the story is going, Ellie is going to die probably in the trilogy. She's probably gonna give herself up to make a cure, or there's gonna be another doctor who's gonna be able to make a cure out of her cells or whatever. The way the whole story is going, she is going to die in the trilogy, most likely. I think that's the route she's gonna go. I mean, and if she dies, that's even more of a good reason for Joel to perish in part 2, because then they lived for each other, really. I mean, Ellie was Joel's life after he lost his daughter, so Ellie gave him new spark. So it was like, I give this game, honestly, I give this game, because of the battle system is awesome and stuff. Yeah, I give this game an 8.8. Not a 10. I won't give this game a 10. I give it an 8.8, because the only reason I give it an 8.8, almost a 9, is because they could have done the situation for you to control Abby. They could have done it a little better. I don't know how. I'm not a director. I don't get paid for that. So I don't know. I know everybody has their opinions, but nobody's directors in their profession. Nobody. A good storyteller probably could have done it better. You know what I mean? The way to incorporate controlling Abby and seeing it in her perspective could have been better. Like it could have been thrown up, because as the player, seeing Joe get killed off like that, then you're playing Ellie's game. You're almost getting it. You're almost getting to have that satisfaction of revenge. And then for Ellie's campaign to end like that, on the reverse side, thinking she had the upper hand, but she don't, because she just off Jesse and she's about to off Tommy, and Ellie is standing there like she's done. So your vengeance is firing up. You're fired up, and all of a sudden you just get thrown in to be in control of Abby. That's where I disagree with the way they did that. You know what I mean? Yeah, the majority. Whoever said they played the majority of the game as Abby is BS. You know what I mean? Whoever said they playing, who played the majority of the game as Abby is BS. I mean, and there's people who have I don't think. I don't know. This is basically kind of controversial what I'm about to say. I don't think if you didn't play the game, if you didn't ride that roller coaster ride, I don't think you have a say so really. I mean, could I be wrong? I don't know. Maybe I could be wrong. Everybody's entitled to their opinion to say I'm wrong. But to just experience that, because I experienced that little piece of playing all that campaign of Ellie just to get thrown and be controlled on Abby. I was gonna say it in the stream, and I was like, let me not say it. Let me not say it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because I felt like I was wronged right there. Because now I have to play the whole campaign of Abby's just to see what might happen to Ellie at that time. And yeah, I thought it was brilliant too. I mean, the story is good. It's a good story. For people to say the story is garbage, you are absolutely wrong. The story is not garbage. I don't understand. Why was the story garbage? If your opinion of saying the story is garbage is because Joel died, then you're absolutely wrong. You're absolutely wrong. If your opinion of saying that the story sucks because of Joel death, then you're absolutely wrong. Absolutely wrong. You're absolutely wrong, because Ellie needed that growth, and Joel's death was gonna make her grow that way. You know, I don't know if a lot of people would understand what I'm trying to say. Ellie to me couldn't get, you know, to that next upper launch without Joel's death. You know what I mean? Because the path Ellie was going with Joel being alive, it was kind of like the wrong path. I mean, she didn't even want to sympathize in what Joel did for her. You know what I mean? And yeah, the whole story was about revenge, Pegasus. It was, and a lot of people are mad about that. They're mad that, oh, how can this whole story be about revenge, and etc. and this, that, and the third, and then what you want the story to be about? I mean, a story is made to surprise you, to keep you on your toes. The story is not made for you to predict what may happen, and then, I mean, just because the story didn't go the way you wanted it to go, just because the story wasn't written the way you wanted it to be written out, with both of the characters riding off to the sunset underneath a rainbow, doesn't mean the story sucked. You know what I mean? I mean, that's far what I mean. This story was close to reality as reality can get. You know what I mean? This story was so close to reality. You know what I mean? It was so close to reality, because you gotta. I loved one thing I did like about what they did with Abby. They wanted to thrust you into her life, to see it in her perspective, and for the people not to see. If that was your father, you walked into the hospital, your father's bleeding on the ground, killed by an unknown assailant for pure greed. Because let's be honest, Joel was greedy that day. He was selfish. He was selfish. Ellie filled that void of him having a daughter again, and he wanted to keep that. And that's why Joe did it. That's why Joe did it. Yeah, yeah, you're right, Pegasus. It could be. You know what I mean? But to not sympathize with Abby whatsoever, then you're inhuman. Honestly, I mean, I could be wrong. You're inhuman if you can't sympathize with what Abby went through. Like, she lost her father. She had nobody but Owen. Right? She had nobody but Owen after that, really. Let's be honest. Owen was the closest, whether partner, relationship-wise, was the closest to what she ever had after she lost her father. So she lost her father, and in the process of getting revenge, she killed Joe. Then she loses Owen in the process. Also, she loses whole entire team. You know what I mean? And even though she lost her father, lost her whole entire team, this time to Ellie, someone involved with Joe that she killed, she still didn't kill Ellie. Yes, I know it was because of the other one that she was rolling with. It was because of Ollie. Ollie stopped her. And you don't agree with my Joe points, as in like what, like what I with the daughter thing? Like with the daughter thing, are you talking about with the daughter thing, Pegasus, about him? I think if that's what you're talking about, I really do think he saved her because Ellie filled the void. Yes, he loved her. I know, he loved Ellie. He was selfish to me. He was, and we can agree to disagree. He was selfish. Joe was selfish there. Just because he was selfish though doesn't make him wrong. Doesn't make him wrong. It doesn't make Joe wrong for being selfish. He did it. You know what I mean? Doesn't make him wrong, doesn't make him right. I don't know what it makes it. To each his own, to what they want to say about that. But to me, yes, but just because you do the same doesn't mean it's not what it is. Just because you do the same. You know what I mean? Ellie was basically the cure to mankind. You understand what I'm saying? And she was willing to do that. He didn't even give her an option. He didn't even say, let me wait till she wakes up and ask her, because she damn well would have said, yo, I want to die for mankind. You know what I mean? Yes, I know you don't give a fuck, because I understand that, because it's what I'm talking about Joe's perspective. In my perspective, no way. I would have done the same thing Joe did. But I'm just saying, outside looking in and looking at it as a whole, because remember, you can see a whole lot looking outside the fact that you're not involved in the situation. When you're looking outside of the situation, I can voice my opinion more easily than if I was in the situation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I was in the situation, I'd be like, fuck it, I don't care if mankind gets obliterated, you ain't taking mine. But the fact that I'm not in a situation, I can look at it more logically. See, you're not logical. A lot of people are not logical when they're in that hype moment. You know what I mean? When they're in that distress moment, they're not logical. They're not thinking straight. But when you're not in it and you're outside looking in, you're more logical than the person who's in it. You know what I mean? There are very few people who can maintain a logical sense of thinking when they're in that predicament, when they're in that stressful point of a situation. And Joe wasn't thinking logical. Joe wasn't thinking logical was to save mankind. Let's be honest. The logical thing was to save mankind. One life to save mankind, the entire world. That's logical if you ask me. So what would be logical? Let mankind be obliterated because of one life? That's more logical than saving mankind? Yes, but it's because of what they yes, because of it, but we're not looking at that. You know, we're not looking at that. It was the only chance, think about it, Pickens. It was the only chance for mankind to be saved. It was the only time for mankind to be saved, and it was taken away, because the only one who was capable to develop that cure also was killed in the process. It was close to get. It wasn't okay. I'm gonna agree with you there. Was it guaranteed? No. It wasn't guaranteed, but it was close. It was as close as they have ever gotten. It was as close as they have ever gotten. Come on now. I mean, how many cures have taken place because people took chances on things, you know? And we don't even know, you know. That's behind closed doors, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's my perspective on that whole thing. But for people, I would say, this is what I would say. For people who played the first one, and if you're not gonna think logical in a situation of being in the other person's shoes, don't buy the game. If you're not gonna think logical, if you're not gonna think, because when you play the game, cause imagine thinking, imagine thinking, no, imagine thinking that, imagine if you played with Abby first. You know what I mean? And Ellie did that to her. You know what I mean? It's all about the protagonist. Ellie was the first protagonist that you ever. Ellie and Joe was the first protagonist that you dealt with in this series. So you've grown fond of them. So you don't want nothing to happen to them. You know what I mean? So you're gonna be really protective of them. I'm not going to bed, Peg. I'm going to get some coffee and I'm going to get some bagels and I'm gonna get I'm I I'm not even gonna stream tomorrow. I'm gonna make a YouTube video about this also. Cause it's going crazy. The whole internet about this story about the whole Is this a flop? Absolutely not. This is not a flop. This game is real. This game is amazing. Battle system top notch. You know what I mean? The battle system's top notch. The thrill ride, the roller coaster of emotions that this game provided, despite the leaks. So imagine there was no leaks. Your sense of thinking would have been all over the place. But the fact that you already have a destination already made up because of the leaks, the roller coaster wasn't as fun and wasn't as thrilling. But the fact that the people who actually still played the game, played the campaign, saw every single cutscene, experienced it, and still had a roller coaster of emotions tells you how good this game really is. For a game to survive a leak, come on. You know what I mean? You got to give it to them. You got to give it to them. I mean, you got to give it to them. I mean, and I give Naughty Dog a lot of props for this. They did the damn thing. They did the damn thing. They really did a great job. They really did a great job, and I give it to them. And for people who love The Last of Us Part One, I don't see any reason for you to miss this sequel unless you're gonna be completely biased towards a certain character because a certain protagonist's death. If you're gonna be totally biased and not willing to open your mind, then don't buy the game. Point blank and simple. Because if you're not willing to have an open discussion, an open heart, an open tryout, and at least try the game for what it really is, when people are telling you, yo, the gameplay is sensational, the story still kicks ass, and you're still like, well, they killed Joe. If that's your only, then no. And I understand the people are saying the LGBT community or whatever, and all of that. I mean, was it kind of shoved down our throats? Not really, because she's not. I mean, she had a sex scene with a dude. I mean, it's like, so it wasn't shoved down our throats. No, the only reason people are going towards that is because she was very muscular. We watch UFC, right? You see Ronda Rousey, she's very attractive, very muscular. Are we saying that UFC is throwing those things down our throat? No. I mean, Abby was a muscular, attractive woman. That's what she was. It was like almost looking at Ronda Rousey in a game, because Ronda Rousey is big as hell too. Like, she is muscular. Like, if you ever seen Ronda Rousey in person, you would be like, holy shit, she's bigger in person than in TV, because Ronda Rousey is big. I only saw Ronda Rousey once, and I wasn't even like close to her, and she's cut. Like, she's cut. You know what I mean? But attractive as hell. So I mean, for people to say, oh, they got this dyke or this and that and the third. I mean, and for people to even go that route and say dyke and all of this, that, and the third, what kind of person are you? You know what I mean? Are you, you know what I mean? Like, it's like for you to even, I don't know. It's it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. This game has a lot tied into it. This is the most controversial game I have ever experienced in my lifetime of gaming. Like this has been the most controversial. And for people to go also, I understand there's a lot of YouTubers putting out videos saying don't buy this game sucks or whatever. And the majority of them, a couple of few that I do enjoy watching, they haven't even played the game. They haven't even played the game. All they did was sit there and watch someone else play it and watch the video, and they went, okay, I got, oh, no, you haven't really dived in. You know what I mean? It's almost like watching somebody's whole life on TV and then judging them in the end. I mean, I don't even know if that made sense, but experiencing their life is different than just watching their life. I kind of did I say that right? I mean, I think I said it right. You know what I mean? It's I mean, but in the end, no matter what, everybody's gonna have their opinions. Everybody's gonna have their opinion in this game. Me, 8.8. Is it game of the year? Depends on how Ghost of Tsushima comes out. If Ghost of Tsushima has a good story, but to me, I'm not gonna lie, Ghost of Tsushima story looks a little bit typical. Same old yada yada, seeking revenge, the village got attacked or whatever, last samurai type crap. You know, the story seems typical. It doesn't seem astronomical. Something that is gonna push you over the edge of emotion and all of that crap. You know what I mean? Last of Us did that for me. Last of Us story, for me, to me. Uh, Last of Us story to me will not be topped by a lot of games. I don't think there's gonna be a game that's gonna top The Last of Us story. Period. Period. Story wise, Last of Us story, period, is good. Whether you hate it or like it, the story is good. Imagine watching Last of Us in a movie, in part one and part two. You know damn well you would have enjoyed it. You know damn well you would have enjoyed it. You would have enjoyed it. Watching that movie play out. You would have enjoyed that movie. You know what I mean? Yeah, I hope they don't take long on the next one too. I'm gonna support it nonetheless. You know what I mean? I enjoyed part one. I enjoyed part two. I'm really happy that Ellie didn't kill Abby. I might be the only gamer who's saying that. You know what I mean? It might be the only gamer who's saying that because I'm really happy Ellie didn't kill Abby. I'm happy about that because I really felt what Abby went through after watching her in that position. That whole scene is like I think Naughty Dog was really smart about that, and Naughty Dog was also smart about not showing that last hit she did on Joel because if they would have allowed to show that last hit on Joel, that would have been cemented in everybody's mind, and they never would have forgave Abby. And a lot of people would have never even picked up the controller when they gave the control of Abby because that would have been cemented. So it was pretty smart for Naughty Dog not to show that last hit she did on Joel. For them to be like, let's pan the camera, let's not even show the last hit because they're gonna take control of this character, and we don't want them to be this hateful for them to say, you know what, I can't continue the game, I can't even play with this chick, she killed that dude that way. But the fact they panned the camera away, you know what I mean, I think they did that for a reason. They wanted you to at least still play on, you know what I mean. And let's not bullshit, Ellie did a lot of shit. She did a lot of shit wrong. She got a lot of her friends killed, period. Let's be honest. She got a lot of her friends killed. Just like Abby. Abby got her friends killed because she was mentally focused on revenge. Same as Ellie. You know what I mean? But I'm not telling you nothing that you don't know because this whole story was about revenge. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, Packers. I knew they weren't going to because I mean you can't You cannot kill Abby after all she went through, and after even in the end being captured, and God knows what they did to her before they hung her up on that pole. You know what I mean? You can't kill her. You can't. That would be so inhuman. Even as a story writer, you know, to kill Abby and just to kill her to satisfy the mob to say she killed Joe Keller. Nah, you can't do it. Can't. You can't. They were really smart about that. And for Naughty Dog, this is what I give props to Naughty Dog too. For Naughty Dog to take a chance, knowing that they're gonna get so much backlash, for Abby to survive the whole ordeal, big up to them because they're not the sheep. You know what I mean? They're lions. They're willing to take that. They're willing to take that chance to be hated just to write a good story. I would always follow those type of developers and those type of story writers than any type of story writer, any type of developer who just wants to cater to the herd. And I know what a lot of people is gonna say, well, they catered to the herd. You know what I mean? They did the LGBT. No, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. If you follow the story closely, Abby was not that way. She just was fit. That was it. That's it with Abby. She was just fit. She was just fit. That's it. She wasn't. She didn't like the opposite sex. She was just fit. She was fit and trained so she can make sure she accomplishes what she sets out to do, which was to kill Joe. She wanted to be ready. She wanted to be fitly ready. That's it. There's no LGBT connected to that. The only thing close to that, honestly, was Ellie. If y'all really want to be technical, if you want to be technical about that, Ellie was the closest to that. If you want to be honest, Abby though, concerning the LGBT, she nothing linked with Abby. Cause let's be honest, you follow the story closely. She loved Owen. She loved Owen, despite him being with another woman. She loved Owen. She loved him. Period. She banged him even though he was with her. You know what I mean? Come on. And it would be great. Yup, I was thinking about that, Pegasus. That would be great in part 3 if somehow they cross paths. That would be so fire. Because the people who actually like Abby now would love to see her back in the sequel. Which is not a lot of people. And despite everybody hating it, despite everybody hating the story, this game still did well in sales. This game still did well in ratings. And no matter how you see it, oh, the ratings were paid for, even though we know the ratings wasn't paid for. No matter how you see it, this game is no lower than an 8.0. No lower. No lower. This game was good. You know what I mean? And if you have your opinion, you say, this game is a 6, and I ask you, well, did you play it? No, well, I'm not going to listen to you. If I go, what's the score for the game? The game is a 6.0. Did you play it from front to from beginning to end? No, I watched somebody. No, I'm not. I'm done. The conversation is ended. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I'm not gonna listen to you. Honestly, sorry, but yeah, this game has dominated my whole weekend, and hopefully, for those who stayed, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. The last 2 days only. I beat it already. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I won't be streaming tomorrow for the simple fact that I am so tired. I basically streamed 25 hours or 26 hours in 2 days. I'm tired. I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna go watch movies. I'm gonna go relax, and I'm gonna go for a drive to get me some good coffee. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. Like I said, I really thank you guys for sitting at my table. This is Black Shy Guy. Enjoy your weekend. It's beautiful out there. Take care, guys. Go cop this game if you haven't copped it. If you're not gonna cop it, don't listen to the bias. I don't know. Come up with your own opinion and make sure it's logical. Just don't let it be an opinion full of bias. Just be logical. All right? That's all I asked. All right, Pegasus and everybody else, take care. This is Black Shy Guy. Peace.